Hello, it's Hannah, the bariatric biologist, coming to you with my 2-week surgiversary update. It's quite exciting. It's now been 2 weeks. I'm finding every week exciting because I found last week exciting. Just every kind of milestone. So today is Saturday the 15th of April and I weighed myself this morning because it's my actual surgiversary and managed to do the video on the actual day, unlike last time, which is great. So my stats, my high weight was 243 pounds, which is 17 stone and 5 pounds. My surgery weight was 229.8 pounds, which is 16 stone, 5.8 pounds. And my current weight is 219.8 pounds, which means that my total weight loss is now 23.2 pounds. My weight loss since surgery is exactly 10 pounds, which is a beautiful round number, and for 2 weeks that's quite impressive. But my weight loss this week is 3.2 pounds. Now I shouldn't be disappointed. I shouldn't. And I tell myself that. But any other diet, I say other diet, this is different, but any diet you've been on, 3 pounds lost in a week is a brilliant week. But I'm disappointed. I think because I lost 7 pounds last week, I did not at all expect to get anywhere near that. But this is less than half that. So maybe 4 pounds would have been amazing. I would have been really happy with 4 pounds. And I know that's only 1 pound more, but and I think actually the main reason I'm disappointed is because I weighed myself on Tuesday. So 3 days after my, is that 3 days or was it just 2 days? Yeah, three days after my 1 week surgery, and I'd lost 3 pounds by then. I was like, oh my word, it's only Tuesday, I've lost 3 pounds. I don't have to weigh myself until Saturday, and I did weigh myself yesterday, so I had warning. I actually had gone up 0.2 of a pound. So it's the fact that I haven't lost anything since Tuesday. Now there is this 3-week stall that's quite famous, but I'm not at 3 weeks yet, and I'm wondering if it's just happened early. So if you only weigh yourself every week, I would have seen myself having lost 3 pounds this week, and then next week I would get on the scales and not have lost anything, or very small amount. So maybe it's the 3-week stall starting early, but I think that's why I'm disappointed, because I was expecting to have lost more than 3 pounds because I lost 3 pounds at the beginning of this week. I think also it's just the end of this week's been quite hard. Like the first week I felt actually amazing. I couldn't believe I just had surgery. I didn't feel like it. It was a fantastic week, and the beginning of this week was really great too. And since then I've really been struggling. And it's interesting that me struggling seems to occur at the same time with me not losing any weight. So I was going to be talking in this video about how strange it was that on a low-calorie diet, I don't have the normal low-calorie diet symptoms. That's what I was going to be talking about. I was going to talk about how the signals seem to have been cut, and actually how unexpected that was. I've been on loads of low-calorie diets before, some just as low as the calories I'm eating now. Of course I have, I've tried every diet. And what usually happens is you get very, very tired and lethargic, like you don't want to move. You're very cold, like wearing a fleece on the hottest day in the summer, because you're just cold all the time and quite irritable. That is my experience of very low-calorie diets. Your body cuts as much of its energy expenditure as possible, so it stops trying to keep you warm. You concentrate less well because it's not giving you as many calories to your brain, so your concentration drops and all of that. And I was expecting all of those things, and I'd been on a quite low calorie diet prior to the surgery, and then the surgery carried on with an even lower calorie diet, so I was expecting those kind of symptoms, and they weren't there in the first week and the first half of this week. I was really warm, I was happy going for quite long, quite fast walks every single day. My house was immaculate. Like, I had loads of energy. Didn't understand why I couldn't just go to work. My concentration was great, and I felt genuinely amazing. And then the second half of this week, I've been freezing. Like, my hands are so cold. My husband's annoyed all the time because I'm constantly putting these freezing cold hands on him. I'm really tired. The other night I went to bed at 6:30, expecting to go to sleep for half an hour nap, because I'd fallen asleep on the sofa, which is very unlike me. And my husband came and woke me up at about 9:45. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to sleep all night now because I've slept all evening, and actually I did sleep, so I obviously needed the sleep. So I want to sleep most of the time. I'm finding it more difficult to get up in the morning. I'm freezing cold, I'm tired, I'm irritable, and I'm finding it difficult to concentrate. So all of those low-calorie symptoms have suddenly kicked in. I think my body's gone, now we were fooled for a little while that she was getting enough food, because the signals were telling us she was getting enough food, but actually we've noticed that she's using a lot of weight we need to conserve. And so it's holding on to everything, which is possibly, again, the reason for the lack of weight loss in the second half of this week. And everything just feels harder. In the second half of this week, I want food more. Particularly solid food. I'm varying the soups that I'm eating quite significantly, but I eventually get bored of soup. I'm bored of all the liquid. And you'll see that bored of all the liquid led to some mistakes being made. There's a video saying I made a big mistake, if you want to watch that, where I explain what this led to and what I ended up eating and the consequences of me eating that. And supposedly I learnt my lesson, but I went shopping this morning and thought, you know what, I just need something to pick me up, make me feel a bit better. What is liquidy enough, and I will only have a tiny amount of it, and it needs to have less fat in it than the egg mayonnaise that I ate. Nutella chocolate spread. Delicious. It is slightly less fat per 100 grams than the egg mayonnaise. And so what I did is I took a small spoonful and put it in a glass and put it in the microwave to make it very runny. So it was really runny, and I had a bite of it. I had a bite of it while sitting next to antiemetics, just in case. I think it was about 10 minutes later, I took an antiemetic, much quicker than I did last time, because I was prepared for what if my body rejects this. And it was about a teaspoonful I had. Really small amount, which would be fine, I thought, but no. Yeah, I felt really nauseous, very nauseous. It wasn't quite as bad because I think I took the antiemetic in time and there was so much less of it. But yeah, that rapid rise in nausea and the hot sweating and the slightly shaking feeling, which I have decided is dumping syndrome, which I might do a video about. There are some doctors that say you don't get dumping syndrome with the sleeve gastrectomy, and there are others that say that you do. My surgeon said that you do, but I went to another consultation where the surgeon says, oh no, only the gastric bypass gets dumping syndrome. I'm pretty certain I have dumping syndrome anytime I eat something with more than 15% fat. I get dumping syndrome, because despite not taking any laxatives, despite the fact that my diet is not particularly high in fibre, and despite the fact that it's very high in protein, the consequences of when I've had that nausea has been that later on I end up with overshare but diarrhoea. So I'm pretty sure that's it. Having said that, again I had a bout of not pooping for ages. Then today, diarrhoea, like epic diarrhoea. And I feel quite a lot better now. I still feel a bit worse for wear, but I do feel a little bit more human because I was feeling very, very bloated, and it seems to be I don't poop for ages and then suddenly I do and I feel better. So I might actually call somebody and ask, look, this is what's going on, what can I do about it? Because I don't think laxatives are the way to go. So let's talk about how I'm doing with food otherwise. So my protein, I've done really well this week, except that Thursday. The Thursday where I made that mistake and was really, really nauseous. I didn't want to eat. So I didn't quite hit my 80 gram target. But every other day I did. So 6 out of the 7 days I hit my 80 gram or more protein. Today I'm not going to either, so next week I've lost one because today again I made myself feel really sick. So I then don't want to eat for ages, coupled with the diarrhea. I'm not going to make my 80 grams. In terms of calories, my average calories for the week were 617. And that ranged from just over 500 calories to just over 700 calories, so about a 200 calorie bracket. But I've also been struggling a lot with my vitamins. I genuinely think now that possibly one of the reasons I'm feeling quite rough in the second half of this week is actually maybe I'm now deficient in vitamins. I'm trying to take the effervescent ones, but I'm never taking the full one because, I don't know, the flavour, I don't know what it is, I feel a little bit nauseous when I drink it. So I struggle to drink it, and I'm drinking, all my food is being drunk. So actually it just comes times in the day when you don't want to be drinking. And I have to admit, I think I've been focusing on the protein, getting my 80 grams of protein, more than I have my vitamins. And I think that that is the wrong approach. That actually it's more important for me to have had my vitamins than it is for me to have had protein. With the protein, as long as I'm eating a high protein diet, which I would be anyway, if I don't quite make the 80 grams, okay, I might lose some of my hair, but that's a temporary hair loss. And I have quite a lot of hair, so it shouldn't matter. And I think me lacking vitamins will lead to hair loss anyway, especially things like biotin. If I don't have enough biotin, I'm going to lose my hair. But it's going to have far more severe and far more reaching and varied effects if I don't get my vitamins. So my determination for this week, my goal for this week is get my flipping vitamins in. I don't care if it makes me feel a bit bleh. Drink them. Got to drink my vitamins. Okay, so a couple of other things to update you on. Last update, my 1 week surgiversary update video, I talked about the fact that I was concerned I felt hungry. And some very wonderful people replied to that video letting me know what their doctors have said about that. And apparently it's not real hunger, it's actually just excess stomach acid. And seeing as on the day that my hunger was at its worst, gradually that hunger seemed to turn into heartburn, I think they were absolutely right. And I have upped my dosage of the proton pump inhibitors that I'm on, the lansoprazole, that I talked about in the one about all the drugs. The one with all the drugs is what I called it, sorry. So I talked about it then, and I've upped the dosage, not every day, I haven't increased it a lot, but I am less hungry, and I kind of, knowing that it's excess acid rather than hunger has made me feel a lot better and more able to kind of ignore it. So thank you so much for those who mentioned it. That's one of the reasons I started doing these videos, is for the support and the advice that we can provide to each other. So that was invaluable advice. So those proton pump inhibitors, increasing them, does seem to have worked. My parents-in-law are coming around tomorrow, Sunday, it's Easter Sunday, and I'm going to be cooking a roast dinner with all the trimmings. They don't know about the surgery. I did feel that this needed to happen because my husband really wanted it. I'm not certain he was 100% happy with me doing the surgery. He's been so supportive and wonderful. I refuse to let him tell his parents, and I still desperately don't want them to know. So I kind of felt I don't want the surgery to affect my husband's life even more. And I was having the surgery around his birthday, so we didn't get to celebrate his birthday quite as much as he necessarily would have if I hadn't been having surgery on the weekend next to his birthday. So I've really felt like, okay, no, we need to have his parents round for Easter Sunday dinner. And if we have it round here, I'm a little bit more in control of the food. But having said that, we're having roast lamb with all the trimmings. And it's really, really worrying me because they think I'm on an extreme diet, which I am. But as far as they're aware, I'm just on an extreme diet, and I just think it's going to look weird. And I think they all expect me to just take a day off, which obviously I can't take a day off. So I'm not sure what to do. I've bought mashed sweet potato. And what I've seen with some people doing, because I'm allowed mashed potato now, but really creamy mashed potato, I'm making roasted potatoes, and I'm wondering if I take out the middle and mush it with a spoon, because you mush it with a fork, because there's something about, you can do that with a jacket potato, according to one of my things. I could eat the middle of those, and I can eat the sweet potato. And I'm thinking what I might do is just put a small portion of all the food on my plate, nudge it around, eat the sweet potato, eat the middles of the potato, maybe chew on some lamb and subtly spit it out into a napkin. I don't know. If you guys have any advice, please put it in the comments, or any suggestions. The food's already bought. I can't really do anything about that. But I'm just hoping they don't find it weird. I also wanted to share with you a find that I had. I did a video about what I eat in a day, and I talked about beef consommé in that. And how much I loved it, and I had Waitrose own brand, which is a lot cheaper than the Baxter's one. But I suddenly just thought I would look at this Baxter's consommé, which is this luxury, expensive consommé with a cask-aged sherry in it. Anyway, it's this luxury consommé, and I like it just as much as the Waitrose one. It's not better than the Waitrose one, but the Waitrose one had, I think it's 9.1, or was it 9.2 grams of protein in it, which I thought was epic for what is a very, very thin, it's like just clear broth. I thought that was an amazing amount of protein, and it is actually my favourite thing that I'm eating at the moment. I look forward to my can of beef consommé. This has 12 grams of beef consommé in it, and I like it just as much. It's more expensive, but at the moment, that feels worth it. 12 grams. And it is very thin, clear liquid, so it is so easy to drink the entire tin in one go. And the calories for that is only 68. It's like 68 calories and 12 grams of protein. It's basically flavoured protein. It's amazing. So that was my find. Now the last thing, actually no, the second to last thing I wanted to chat to you about is my dressings came off this morning. I was told to keep the dressings on for 12 days after I was sent home. And so that's today. So I took the dressings off, mostly. And I thought I would show you what my scars look like. I would stop watching now if you're squeamish, because some of them don't look very nice. This is me being quite confident, because I don't like showing people my stomach. But I would want to see them. I did want to see them when I was watching the videos prior to my surgery. So bear with me and I'll show you my scars. Okay. So, pull my t-shirt up to about here. I might have to get quite close for you to see them. First of all, this one up here, this dressing, I put on a new one. When I took this one off, I discovered that the scar underneath hadn't really healed at all. Not well, it had healed, but it's the worst of all of them in terms of its healing. I think that's because that's where my bra sits and rubs. So that's another reason I thought, you know what, I'm not exposing that one. And I've left it covered. So, not good. Let me come a bit closer. Probably the best healed one is probably this one. You can just see that brown bit is actually just the stitches, but there's kind of slightly flaky skin around it as it's trying to heal. So it's slightly red with these brown stitches marks in it. There's this one here which is quite wide, but again that's stitches. There's a little bit of body stuff. This weird stuff around it is from the dressings. That's sticky, but I'm not allowed to scrub it. So although I've tried to wash that sticky residue off, I can't get it off. This one is really weird because it seems to have puckered the skin. Not skin, let's be honest, the fat. It's kind of puckered, it's not the same on that side. It's kind of puckered in, but the scar itself, I thought that was going to be huge when I took off the bandage because I could feel that massive indent. But it's actually not that big. And again, that brown stuff's the stitching. This one's quite long, but it's healed so well. Like the middle, it's just gone. Like I know I can see a little line there, which you probably can't see, but it's almost entirely gone, that one. Which is weird because that's the one that the drain was coming out of. Very strange, because that one was the one that's had the least healing time. Unless that was this one and I just didn't know where the drain was coming from. I'm sure it was that one. Anyway, so those are my scars. That leaves me just to say, I have 16 subscribers. For ages there it stalled and was just staying at like 12. And then suddenly I got a whole new load of subscribers, which is lovely. So welcome to the new subscribers. It's nice to have you. Do talk to me. I do try and reply to all my comments. If I start getting too many, which is a good problem to have, I might not be able to reply to them all. And also let me know if you've got videos that you want me to watch, because I wanted to join a community in doing these videos. And so that means watching your videos, commenting on videos and chatting to you, asking your advice, me giving you advice. I don't know, just sharing. So please keep subscribing if you haven't already, because I'm loving seeing the subscribers, and please keep commenting. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.